From Shane Gillis tapping into his inner slaver.
Look at those clothes. You must be from the future. Hello, time traveler. I was like, no, I'm from right now. What are you doing out? Come here.
To Anthony Jeselnik searching for a killer.
I've spent the past 2 years looking for my ex-girlfriend's killer, but no one will do it.
Here are 10 times comedians used their most offensive jokes, starting with Jimmy Carr, who annihilated an entire continent in one line.
What is the most offensive joke that you've ever written?
If only Africa had more mosquito nets, then every year we could save millions of mosquitoes from dying needlessly of AIDS.
And while Jimmy dropped his nuke without warning, Ricky's next joke was so deadly that he had to clear away the elderly in case the punchline stopped their hearts.
Made sure the old people couldn't hear. Like that. I went, okay. Father, sitting at home, just reading the newspaper. This little girl comes running in. She's only 6. Hello, darling. Hello, Daddy. You've been playing? Yeah. In the park? Yeah.
The daughter's playground playtime, however, quickly took a dark turn.
With your friends? Well, until the man came along. Till the man came along. Yeah, a man came along and he asked my friends to leave, so it was just me and him. Darling, come over. Whatever happened, none of it was your fault, okay, darling? None of it was your fault, but tell Daddy every detail. What happened?
Going all in, the finale of Ricky's joke might have just signed up his audience for therapy.
He took me behind a tree so no one could see what we were doing. Oh, God, darling, and then what happened? He took my dress off. Oh, God, what happened next? What happened? He took his thing out. Oh, God, darling, and then what happened? Nothing, that was it. Oh, we'll make something up.
While Ricky's victims were at least fictional, the same can't be said for a very white Shane Gillis, who took living your legacy too literally.
He was like, look at those clothes. You must be from the future. Hello, time traveler. I was like, no, I'm from right now. What are you doing out? Come here.
Shane's history lesson started with a failed George Washington Museum tour.
All right, so for $36, me and a woman dressed like Martha Washington, me and this lady went room to room for an hour, and this was the tour. We get outside when we were done. She's like, do you have any questions? I was like, yeah, what the f was that? What was that?
With the guide offering nothing, Shane took learning history into his own hands.
Like I said, it was the first summer during COVID, all right? So we're in the middle, we're in the middle of tearing down statue season. And I was at a Founding Fathers plantation during all of that. So I wanted to check out the slave quarters. I want to see what all the fuss was.
But when his own audience silently judged him, Shane called them out immediately.
No, whatever. You guys, what'd you guys do? What'd you guys do that summer? Post black squares on your Instagram? Is that what you did? I was there. Boots on the ground at a Founding Fathers plantation. Growing, learning as a white.
And Shane pointed out how the Founding Father could have found decency before independence.
For real though, I was in there. I was in George Washington's slave quarters. By the way, the first thing you do when you walk into George Washington's slave quarters is you go, ooh. Somehow worse than I thought they were gonna be. It's rough, dude. That guy had a dungeon. For real.
As if the tour couldn't have gotten any worse, Shane got a jump scare from the past.
And then I hear some footsteps coming down the path behind me, and now blocking the only exit of the room was a slave reenactor. They have those there. And he did not break character. I turned around, he was like, oh, well, hello there, sir. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, please, you don't have to do the character.
What the audience didn't expect was Shane dropping his own blast from the past.
He didn't break. He was good. He was like, look at those clothes. You must be from the future. Hello, time traveler. I was like, no, I'm from right now. What are you doing out? Come here. No, I did not say that. Obviously, I didn't say that. I didn't say a word. I was frozen. I was paralyzed with white guilt.
As time went on, Shane discovered the tour came with a free guilt trip add-on.
He wasn't giving me the George Washington tour. He was just drilling me with shit I didn't want to hear. He was hitting me with the what? You remember that time, tense time. That guy walks in there and sees me. I know what I look like. I know exactly. I've got the body type of a guy who says, let's see the rest of the body cam footage before we jump to any conclusions.
When the actor started playing the race card, however, Shane pulled out his own ace.
Dude, I was getting drilled with this information. That's when I started playing possum a little bit. It was like, maybe I am a special needs guy. So he was hitting me with the white guilt facts. I was...
And to end the wizard duel for good, Shane used his final forbidden spell.
It was a battle, dude. It was like two wizards fighting. Finally, I won by just lowering my mask. He was mid-rant. Oh, my bad, brother. He let me go.
Shane won against a black guy acting out his past, in sharp contrast to Theo Von, who dunked on a white guy acting out like he's black.
Well, the first wigger I ever met was from our town, bro. I think the first wig ever, man. This kid named Brian St. Pierre, bro.
Where did he move from?
I don't nowhere, bro. He just, you know, he was raised like, kind of like, you know, he was like Mowgli, you know, like he was just spent a little bit of time on the other side of town, you know?
And the story only got more special.
But look, man, they put him in the mentally handicapped class, bro, because they'd never seen it before. They'd never seen it before. They put him in class with kids with Down syndrome, with kids in wheelchairs. They put him...
What? Just a dude who had like a... couldn't he just be like, hey guys, this is just the way I want to talk?
But Theo had another acid story incoming that was so messed up, he had to reduce his age to soften the damage.
And we locked this big girl into a room at this party, and we kept going in there with pots of warm water, pouring it on. I feel bad. I feel horrible, dude. I didn't look. We was kids and we were on acid, dude.
How old were you?
I just remembered
How old were you?
Probably 16.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, but here's the thing. Let's say I was 14. That way it makes it sound not as bad.
And Theo's story ended with an earth-shattering conclusion.
And then one time we went in, bro. We heard this loud sound and we went in. And
I wonder why.
She had ran against one of the walls so hard, bro. Had moved the entire wall in this house, dude. Beautiful girl, beautiful hair, beautiful face, large and beautiful. But she got lifted, bro.
Just like Theo's character was smashing through walls, Anthony Jeselnik was smashing through comfort zones when he released an entire special of dark jokes.
I'm a good guy. Like, I would never hit a woman, you know? I would never hit a woman. Even if she had a knife or a stutter.
Defending himself, Anthony shared his kind act that took a complete 180 later on.
Like, I've got a kid in Africa that I feed, that I clothe, that I school, that I inoculate for 75 cents a day. Which is practically nothing compared to what it costs to send him there.
But even Saul Goodman couldn't defend what Anthony did next.
When I was a kid, my friends and I got arrested for vandalizing a graveyard. $10,000 in damages. But we had a great lawyer who knocked it down to criminal trespassing and necrophilia.
And Anthony's next victim wasn't even tall enough to dodge his jabs.
Yesterday, I accidentally hit a little kid with my car. It wasn't serious. Nobody saw me. And people get weird when kids die. No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
To prove his point, Anthony went all in with another killer joke.
Like about a month ago, some kids in my neighborhood were playing hide and go seek, and one of them ended up in an abandoned refrigerator. It's all anybody talked about for weeks. I said, who cares? How many kids you know get to die a winner?
With Anthony shooting one last shot at his ex.
I've spent the past 2 years looking for my ex-girlfriend's killer. But no one will do it.
We move on to Patrice O'Neal, who wanted to shoot down America's racist history by reversing it entirely.
I'm mad at him because I thought I would have a white slave by now. I thought I have me a white family. Oh, big old fat white girl gonna warm my bed up. Get upstairs, Susan.
This alternate timeline started with Patrice explaining why black people don't side with white people.
And I'm gonna tell you something you don't know about black folks. We would be on your side. In talking to white people, we would be on your side a lot more if you would, just not ever talk about how you feel about anything racial.
And Patrice had the perfect example for his point.
Because black people on the edge of going, what the is Obama doing? But it's too many white people outwardly hating him, so we can't. We go, if you shut up, I'll be against them. Like, stop having rallies and all kinds of stuff.
Next, Patrice called out Obama for his false promises.
I'm mad at him because I thought I would have a white slave by now. I thought it was Vengeance Day. I thought I had me a white family. Oh, big old fat white girl gonna warm my bed up. Get upstairs, Susan.
Not stopping there, Patrice doubled down to reverse 400 years of slavery with his last punchline.
Warm my bed up, feed my baby with your giant white titties and I'm gonna go outside and stare your husband in the face and decide whether I'm gonna sell him or not. Now, you know your wife's upstairs warming up my bed. You know that, right? Philip.
While Patrice rewrote history with his lines, Frankie Boyle rewrote the entire legacy of the King of Pop by rubbing salt in his allegation wounds.
They played a tape of Jackson's voice under sedation, show how many drugs this guy was giving him, and he's going,
I'm gonna build a children's hospital. The biggest children's hospital in the world. Call it Michael Jackson's Children's Hospital.
And HBO wouldn't have needed a documentary if they had aired Frankie's next joke instead.
I don't even think it was his voice. I think it was the voice of the pedophile demon that controlled his soul.
I'm gonna build a children's hospital. I'm gonna buy those kids a game of whack-a-mole. But I'm gonna lie under the game of whack-a-mole. Stick my up through it.
Just when the audience thought it couldn't get any worse, it absolutely did.
When they're banging away with the little hammers, they're actually banging my I'm gonna dress up as a surgeon. I'm gonna do operations on them. Put little and little clitorises into the palms of the hands. So that when I'm holding hands with them, I'm actually abusing the little motherfucker.
And the ending to Frankie's hellish joke was enough to make even Satan shudder.
I'm gonna tell them they've been cured. I'm gonna tell them they're okay and send them home to the mama. But it won't be the mama. It'll be me. And they'll wake up on their first night home to hear me screaming, "You're not okay! You're not okay!" Through a mama's face as I come inside them.
Frankie exposed Michael's secret allegations on air, similar to Norm Macdonald, who revealed his sexual identity on live TV.
Well, I guess the biggest thing that nobody knows about me is I'm a deeply closeted gay man.
What? You're a gay man?
I'm not gay. Do you know what deeply closeted means?
Yeah.
It means a man who will not acknowledge that he's gay.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, I'm not gay.
But when absolutely not gay Norm took a swing at his wife, she hit back with equal lethality.
How do you feel about a woman? She's supposed to be my life partner. I look in the mirror the other day and I says to her, honey, I look in the mirror and all I see is a fat, ugly old man. And I need you to give me a compliment. She says, all right then, your eyesight is damn near perfect. I said, you dirty dog.
Naturally, Norm went for round 2 only to get knocked out again.
We were driving the car. We went past a bunch of animals. There was a pig, a cow. And I admit this is a little cruel.
You were kind of mad at her at the time.
I was mad at her. So I say, hey, you see that pig, that cow, horse? That remind you of any of your relatives? She says, yeah, my in-laws. I said, you dirty dog.
Oh, wow.
When Conan complained the jokes were ancient, though, Norm launched one even Gen Z would appreciate.
What is going on?
I will say this.
What is going on?
I will say
this is a 1935 radio show.
Well, let me say something more modern and stylish then.
Okay.
My wife went into a coma.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And the doctor said to me, you won't hear this from any 1935 comic.
And while the wife might have won 2 battles, Norm won the war with one last lethal delivery.
He says to me, there's one way to wake her up, but it's a little unconventional. You go in there and you have oral sex with her. I said, by God. He says, I've seen it work. I said, well, I'm willing to try. So I go in there, I'm in there about 5 minutes, and I come out. I said, Doc, she's choking.
While Norm's joke might have only pissed off his wife, David Cross's joke, on the other hand, triggered someone before the punchline even landed.
That's something that a lot of people ask. Why is God allowing so many of our innocent kids to be shot to death?
Before that happened, though, David started his rant with an important question.
Why do we, in this country, allow so many of our innocent kids to be shot to death? Well, not us, God. Why does God... We have no control over the situation at all. It's all in God's hands.
Even with his audience literally leaving the show, David still kept doubling down.
That's something that a lot of people ask. Why is God allowing so many of our innocent kids to be shot to death? And I have a possible answer. And you're not going to like it.
And David's joke hit harder than the plane that hit a building we won't name because our video will get canceled.
Maybe God is allowing so many of our kids to be shot to death so that they can go to heaven, where they then service the ISIS terrorists and suicide bombers as part of the 72 virgins they're rewarded with.
While David mocked present-day shootings, Bill Burr took it to another level by reaching back a century to destroy a man who was evil personified.
You know he had relatives. They all had to change their last names. I'm fascinated with that level of evil, right? Like, you're so evil, they have to retire your name. Like, that's it. It's over. Shut it down. They just take your name out of that baby book list of names. Just erase it.
After dunking on Hitler, the most notorious Huns and apostles were next in line.
Can you imagine being that much of a though? Like, whatever your name is, the day you die, Steve, that's it. No more Steves. You see that, dude? There's only a few names in history like that, right? Like, nobody has a friend named Attila, right? Anybody hanging out with their buddy Judas tonight? You're not. And that's a cool name.
And while Bill shifted his sights on a serial killer name that didn't get justice, it was his delivery that killed the room.
Because look at a guy like Jeffrey Dahmer, man. That guy murdered and ate over like 30 people. People are still calling their babies Jeffrey. He must have been pissed. It's like, dude, how many people do I gotta eat to get a little damn respect around here? Anybody can kill him. I'm eating him. Fire up the grill. Taking this to a whole nother level.
And it just goes to show that real comedians never pull their punches, no matter how offensive the topic gets.